Do you have, when you speak, you're getting feedback. Like, what kind of feedback? You're hearing yourself?
Well, yeah, I hear myself on the second list.
Okay, let me, feedback. You hear yourself?
Well, yeah, I hear myself.
Okay, let me, feedback. There we go. I might have fixed that for us.
All right, how about now?
I don't hear you, so... I mean, I hear you, but I don't hear any feedback from you.
Yeah, I still got it.
I don't know why this isn't going live.
Now I hear you double.
Yeah, I'm fixing that real quick. There we go. Okay, now I gotta go to Team ODZ's webpage so I can grab the Discord code for somebody. Alright, there we go. I think we should be up on Room for Discord. We're going to do some attacking the punchy climbs today, so that should be fun. Ooh, my feet were just spinning pretty fast. A little out of control. I always do that. All right. So let's see, we got one USMES guy on here, Catterton. And right now it's just you and I on Discord, Seth. I'm hoping Celia Marie can get on. Yep, she has joined. Good. She just got back from a run, so I convinced her to throw in her kit and jump on her bike. See how that all that works out for her. Oops. Type this in. So what do you think the over-under on a power outage today is, Seth?
Oh, I think you're 50-50 every day. You're not exactly living first world.
No, I've got some UPS batteries in the procurement system, but you know how that goes.
Yeah, I do. Jen says hi.
Tell Jen I said hello. All right, so today is largely in honor of the Spring Classics. If you did not get to see Ghent Vivelgum or E3 Harlebek from last week, I highly recommend it. It's almost as good as a class of skills and drills. As far as their tactics and techniques, you know, I mean, they're only professionals, so what can you expect? And so all this spring in the Pro Tour with the Spring Classics, most of the rides are really hard, long courses with cobblestones or just an crazy amount of climbs. So in honor of that, we're going to practice attacking some of those punchy climbs. And where this pays off is usually, you know, on the S's at the end of a race on the Watopia course, or in Richmond, you have those short punchy climbs at the end. And in London, you have coming out of the tube station. So that's a big deal because you're going to be able to attack those really short climbs and get that small gap that you can stay away from or stay away with. So that's what we're going to do today. And we're on the volcano circuit, so we should have some nice little short ones. Karen, I can see you're trying to talk, but I don't hear you. All right. So we've got a few people in there. We got about just over 6 minutes left before we start. And once we get going, we'll have some good time working together. A nice little 10-minute warm up, and then we'll be able to get back into our class, or get into our class from there. For some reason my internet's being a little choppy today. Our class will get into our class from there. Perfect. Okay. Reloading a page always seems to help. Apologize for the cough. I rode home in the great Santo Domingo traffic today. It was got some good pollution in my face. Jonathan, welcome. Thanks for showing up again.
Hi, Ian.
So you ready to do some short punchy climbs a la Greg Van Avermaet? Maybe Dan Martin style? Okay, so what we're gonna go over today. Actually, I'll tell everybody. All right, so here's how our class is gonna go today. For those of you who are already on Discord, then I'll type it out. We'll do our warm up, and then we're gonna focus on 3 phases of attacking these punchy climbs. The first thing we're gonna go over is momentum, because obviously when you go into one of these short punchy climbs, you want to go in hard, or at least fast, so you can carry everything in. Alright, Smilly, I think I'm pronouncing it right. I hope I am. Welcome for your first time. I see you're also in Discord, so that should help you. The second thing we're going to be going over after momentum is positioning. Positioning is rather important because if you're in the front of the group, you can attack or respond. And when you hit these short punchy climbs, there's an instant compression and then a stretching of the group. And if you're in the back, you get held up by the compression, and then as the stretch happens, it's that accordion effect. It's much longer for you to be able to react respond and get your momentum back. It happens much more in real live racing than on Zwift, but it does happen in Zwift as well, especially as people hammer into those short climbs. And the third part we're going to go over is attacking through the climb. And what I mean by that is when you attack through the climb, when you start your attack, when you start your effort, you have to carry it all the way into the first third of the descent. Because if you stop at the crest, everything you just gained on that attack, you're going to lose because everyone's going to come back right to you. So we're going to go over those. We're going to do a few versions of each, but we're going to practice the not correct way to do it, and we'll practice the correct way to do it. And if you have any questions at any time, feel free to jump on. If you're muted, it might be because you have to switch to push to talk. And then you can jump on with questions anytime during the ride. Likewise, if you're watching the stream, feel free to type out questions and we will get to you right away. Alright, now I'm going to type it out to the group, so I apologize. I'll be quiet for a minute. Alright, we got about 2 more minutes, so make sure you're getting nice and warm. When we do our accelerations, they're going to be a little bit hard. Oh, that's okay, man. You can just listen for now. You don't have to chime in if you don't want. We don't force anyone to talk. Alright, so once we start, remember we're going to go out at 1.5 max. And then I want you to continue practicing to work on your positioning in the group. So positioning is always important, and it's going to be hit on a couple times today. So make sure you're really practicing that movement around. And as we work on the positioning aspect of our class, I'm going to force you to be the front or the back, depending on where your last name falls. And then that's where you'll have to experience the front or the back, so you know what it's like in case you're normally in the front or you're in the back. All right, let's get ready. 36 people going at the start today. It's a good sized group. Definitely good with that. Let's get out at our 1.5. Remember, this isn't a race, so don't feel that you have to go out like gangbusters. If you sprint off the front at 2.5, we're not going to chase you. So you can just stay with us and learn and enjoy, or go off the front and have your own private ride. So let me get a couple who are already starting off the front. All right. So let's, like I said, let's get moving back and forth as we practice working on positioning. Let's bunch it up a little bit. We are slightly strung out. Want to see if we can work on that a little bit. So if you're up at the front, well in front of me, go ahead and just slow it down until you come back to us. Doesn't really do us much good if people are way off the front. We're not a ride where we're trying to drop people from the gun, so let's work on that. Now, as you're in this group that we're in, come up to me, go to the back, move around. We're at 1.5, so it's really easy to move back and forth. So I want you to take advantage of this time to really feel what it takes to go from the back to the front. If you're not learning that here, it's going to be much more difficult when we do it at speed. And so if you're wondering why you're in a gray jersey, as opposed to the jersey you started the day in, these are our Castelli kits that we're in. Castelli sponsors this ride, and one lucky person, unfortunately it can only be a person living in the United States, but one lucky person at the end of the ride will get a drawing somewhere in the month, and they will get awarded some Castelli swag. So, if that happens to be you, awesome. I'm not eligible to win my own Castelli swag here, unfortunately, but at least I don't think I am. But if you get picked, they'll send it straight to you. Our good friend Deirdre won last month, I believe, and got herself a Castelli bag. And Seth, I'm sure she's been flaunting it around Key West for you.
If she has, I haven't seen her.
All right, so we got Jay Williams and them up the road. Said we're not going to chase. Let's just stay right here, that 1.5. We got a few people a little bit back. Workman's off the back a little bit. Let's try and ease up for them. All right, Hoffman, let's go. Can't have you falling off right now. All right, so he's up.
Got me.
Yeah, we got you. All right, 1.2 if you're at the very front. We want to try and let some of these folks catch back on who got dropped at the very beginning due to the quick start. All right, Workman's coming around. That's good. King Cog, need you to ease off the 2. Good, there goes Workman. Gorski's coming around. Good. Bire's here. Alright, we'll close this back together. Again, we got 5.5 minutes, so we're alright. Wyland, come on up here with us. Hope I said that right, or pronounced that correctly. Alright, got a good runner there, Snoop. I believe Snoop's first initial really is K. I wonder if that's him. Alright, so we're a little strung out at the front. A good bit. We've got our small group here. So Jonathan, your group's got about 4 seconds on my small group right here, just so you know.
Yep, we're going really easy up here.
Yeah, we're closing it down, but there's a few people that shot off the front. We have Bire going at 2.4. I can't do all the French characters on my keyboard, so. Alright, so the climb we just went over, right there, that's a little short punchy climb. Sort of. So for our purposes, it's gonna work for what we want. Alright, so let's run our group up, keep it up at that 1.5. And we'll probably bring back some of the others as we go. We've got about 3 minutes and 20 seconds. I'm going to type out real quick what we're going to be doing, even though they saw the basics, and I'll explain it to you guys so we can do that. Alright, so what we're going to do in the first time we get up, we're going to, once we hit about 10 minutes, we're going to slow way down. And when I say way down, I mean we're going to slow way, way down. Down to below a point, probably about a 0.5 or so. Just enough for forward progress. Why are we doing that? Well, I want to actually show what momentum does when you're going into these climbs. So once we hit the climb, then we'll build back up to a 2.5. And as we build back up to the 2.5, we will get up the climb, but you'll see it's much harder, especially if you're on a smart trainer. It's definitely not a lot of fun on the smart trainer when you're doing it like that. So, well, like I said, what we'll do is at about 10 minutes, we'll slow way down. As we come into the incline, we'll go down to like a 0.5, and then we'll build to a 2.5 and go up. The idea, again, see how it feels. Even if you're not on a smart trainer, you will see, though, that your rider is going to be going slow, and it's going to take a while to build up that speed to get up the climb in a good fashion that could be used as something like an attack. And now we're not going to attack anything for a little while very hard. In fact, we're not going to go above 2.5 until we get to the attacking through the climb. So you don't have to worry about that. All right,
Are we going to do that at the Italian village?
It's going to depend on where we are. So some of this we're playing by ear based on where the course has us at a certain time.
That's the last climb we have for a while.
Yeah, we don't have too many on this course, but I want them kind of spread out. So yeah, we'll be probably hitting the Italian village for this short climb.
There's an Italian village?
Yeah, the Tuscan village that we go through all the time. Yeah, before the S's, the sprint point.
Oh. Wish I didn't know it.
I stop there for gelato and espressos all the time. Alright, so right here you can see just what we're doing. Look at this is a short little climb. And as you're getting down that 1.0, you're losing all your speed. You're losing all your momentum. Okay, and now that's not our momentum climb yet. We're going to come up on that. This is kind of where we're hitting it. Right here. Okay, build to 2.5. So we fell to an 11 miles an hour there. Just go to a 2.5. No more than 2.5. I know that's hard sometimes. So 11 miles an hour at 1.0, roughly. And man, we've come up to a 2 to 2.5, and we're barely at 14 miles an hour on this. So that shows you right there how difficult it is if you've lost your momentum to get it back going up, even at only a 2% grade. You're at 3% grade. These aren't very steep climbs right here. So imagine going up one of the cobbled classics with no momentum. And we'll talk about positioning that sometimes directly affects momentum. All right, very good. Okay. All right, let's drop it back to a 1.5 to let the back end catch up. We got about 5-second gap to those in the back. Spin the legs out a little bit if you want. Again, you're getting an impromptu showing right there of what no momentum feels like. So notice how you're not getting much out of this. As we slow down and you pick it back up, what you're gaining is very, very little as far as your speed goes. So one of the things I notice as I do these, I'll do these for muscle tension resistance, obviously at a much harder effort for me, but when you go into these, if you're on erg and you lose that momentum of the cadence, you'll often find that that's what happens. It's a very similar effect. All right, let's drop it back to 1.5. So bring it back to 1.5 so we can get our back into the group on. All right, so as we go through this on the next momentum round here, what I want to be able to show everybody is what it goes when we go in with a steady roll on the next incline. Because if we have a steady roll, we can maintain a pretty consistent output of speed. We can maintain a pretty consistent output of speed or output of power, and our speed doesn't drop all that much despite the fact that we go up onto that incline. What we need to understand is that as we're doing that and we're holding that steady roll, that we are still going to be putting out a little more effort as we come into the climb. So right now, sitting right here with me, let's pick it up a little bit so we can join on the group. I know your legs are fresh, so it'll be good.
It's the high position, right?
All right, we got Grizzetti and those up front. You guys are getting a bit away from us. All right, so I'm going to type out to the next group. All right, let's go to 2.0 right now. And we're going to hold that here as we come into our next little rise, until we come into our next little rise as we come off the course, or excuse me, off the flat. that we're currently on. And while we're doing this, practice moving around the group. Don't just hold your position. Go to the front, take your turn, pull off, go to the back. That will also help us if we do it this way at 2, pull back Jonathan's group that's ahead of us with Smilly. So that's going to be good for everybody, and you get additional practice. So once we get done with this ride, I will sometime in the next couple of days get all the information up on Zwift blog so you can reread it there or go over anything. And I'll have pictures up there, but I'll also put it in Zwift Riders and on my page as well. Thanks, Jonathan. Next climb coming out of the aquarium. Yep, got it. So let's try and pull our group back with our nice 2.0 work that we're doing. So we are pulling back the Gorski group. We are 12 seconds on the O'Keefe group. So let's try not to split anybody up. Alright, so if you're up the road, you're at a 1.5. If you're with me, you're at a 2.0. I'm the one with the big beacon, so if you just follow that, I'm not sure why it's giving me that view when I hit it. If you follow the beacon, if you don't see the beacon near you, then you're not in my group. And if you're behind me, let me know so we can try and get you caught on. Alright, so as we head into this tunnel coming out of the aquarium, as we head into the incline, we'll see we're starting to come up a little bit. Let's hold your 2.0 right now. So everybody hold 2.0 if you're on the climb, or if you're coming into the climb. Once the incline goes up, you're going to simply lift the pace to 2.5 to 3. Nothing special. We're not going to hammer this. We don't need a fast acceleration. It's nice, smooth, steady acceleration once we hit the incline. So we're not there yet. Keep it at the nice 2.0. Excuse me. So you can already see we're pulling back the O'Keefe group. Now granted they've been riding at 1.5, but they're just in front of us up there. Let's not accelerate too much. Looking good. We got a nice tight group there. I like that. That's a good shot right there. We'll take a picture. Very nice. Y'all look pretty. Alright, so as we close in on this group, we should start hitting our incline very soon. So Jonathan, your group, you guys can, once you hit that incline, lift the pace to a 2.5 to a 3. We are just off the back of you though, so we will bring it home. About 39 more minutes, which should give us just enough time to hit that climb out to the Italian village 2 more times. Once to attack it and once to work on positioning. That'll be nice if we can do that. Alright, great job, my group. Close that down. Job Hoffman, bridging the gap there. That's what I like to see. All right, yeah, we're all together now, so you can see our incline coming up. Let's not accelerate to it. As soon as we hit it, we go up. We got Smiley doing 5.6. That's a little over 3.0. So let's try to control ourselves a little. Again, not trying to split up the group right here. So again, if you noticed, as we hit that incline at that two, it's a lot easier to get to our 2.5 to 3, and we really didn't lose a whole lot of our speed. The next one we do, we're going to accelerate into the hill. Let's go to 1.5 per now, so we can let Michalik and a couple others join in the back. We can tighten our group up a bit. It's a very good job closing the gap, and very good job mostly staying together in that climb. So again, this next one, as we pull into it, which is not this one right here, we're going to accelerate into the hill. Yeah, thanks, O'Keefe. I love that, man. You got this course memorized.
You bet.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to get everyone grouped up now, so right after we get back past that start-finish line, we can start our acceleration. And so once we hit the climb, once we've already made our acceleration, once we've hit that climb, I really would like to see us accelerate just a little more. No more than 3.5, but I want to make sure we're just over 3. Just over 3, and hold that for the entire climb. It's not going to be long. You'll be okay. And then we'll back it back down. And we'll talk positioning and then attacking through the climb at that point. Alright, so it's going to be a short time you're going to be at that, so if you're worried about blowing up or that it might be a little hard for you, you'll be alright. We're not going to be hitting it very, very hard. It's a very small climb. Very small incline. So let's get our acceleration going. I want to get us up closer to a 2.5 to a 3. So if you're on the back of the group like I am, I actually get to go a lot easier. Grizzetti is back here with me. Hoffman's back here with me. King Cogs, Doug Blades. Get your time at the front too. Don't try and just hide out in the back. You got Jay Williams hammering it up 4.6. And this Fox taking it. All right, good. We're on that climb now. Nice little acceleration. Remember, not above 3.5. I admire the desire to go 6.4 and 5.5 there, but we don't need to go super fast right now. All right, we'll take our right turn. And once we take our right turn, we'll ease back to a 1.5. Very nice. Good job, all. That looks good. All right, so once we've all got that down, I think the idea of having some momentum in it. I think what we really want to focus on now is our positioning. A couple people did a really good job there, whether they knew it or not. If you're not a good climber, you want to be at the very front when you hit the climb. Why? So you can slide back to the rear of the bunch, not get dropped, and still maintain a good position with the group, so that when it goes back to the flats, you just move yourself back to the front. All right, so if you're at the very front, let's ease it down a touch. Gatterton, Williams. All right, so we're gonna work on this again. I want those of you who are at the front, you're gonna have to ease off a little bit, let us catch back up. And if you're at the front now, when we hit our next incline, I want you to slide back to the back. I don't want you to lift the pace. All I want you to do is just ease into it. If you're in the back, I want you to lift the pace a little bit through it. The idea being that you move yourself to the front. All right, looks like we're coming right back together. All right, so we got a little gap to us. See, you're about a second back from me. If you can pick it up just a touch, get on my wheel. Good, thank you. All right, good. We're all together. All right, now, once we come out of the tunnel here, we have our small climb. This one doesn't really count, it's a little short, but you can notice if you eased off, you slid to the back, like I just did. If you didn't ease off, actually I slid to the middle, which is a great position to be. All right, so if you're at the front now, hold your position until we get to the next incline, and then you're gonna slide back once we hit the next incline. I know we got a little descent to do. So one of the things you'll notice if you watch any high-level racing, when they have these short, punchy climbs, it's a race, almost like the sprint finish race, to get to the bottom of that climb first. Because if you're in that good position, it gives you a lot of advantages. One, as the roads tend to narrow or people create that accordion effect or start weaving across the road, then you're ahead of that and not getting bogged down or blocked. If you're trying to accelerate through a mishmash of people who are just all over, bikes are weaving and bobbing, elbows and heads going everywhere, water bottles flying out, it's going to hinder your abilities. So you want to try to always be in that good position at the front when you hit these climbs. Again, everybody wants to be there, so it's incumbent upon you to work your positioning and hold that. All right, we got a little bit for our next climb, so that's okay. So we can keep it at a 2.0 at the front just because I want to have a little momentum as we go into the next incline. And I want you to start shuffling for position. I want you to try and be at the front, but don't go to the front at a 5. Try and keep it around a 2. All right, so as you shuffle and fight for position, I do want you to, once you're up at the front, ease off a little bit and just keep practicing that positional fight. We're about to hit our incline, so you want to be in that good position. Don't try and make it happen by just going 5 or 6 watts per kilo. Make it happen by good, determined work through the group. If you see someone moving forward, you try and get on their wheel. There are a couple people that are just taking it so easy, they're drinking their water in the group. Alright, we're coming into the base of our climb. Got a couple people trying to really work their way to the front. So work that slide. If you're up at the front, go ahead and start sliding back. Slide back to the middle of the bunch. Use that so you can get up the climb with the group without having to work as hard as the group. And once you're back in that middle, maybe you have a small acceleration, and that gets you back up towards the front third, and you slide back. Ease off a little bit, let the heart rate come down. Then maybe pick it up a little bit. Maybe you hold where you are if you're coming towards the top. Nice and easy is what you want. Good. So we got a few folks who are moving back and forth. That's what I like to see. Coming out, we're almost done with our short climb. This short climb is going to be also, hopefully we can hit it towards the end where we can get some good work on our attacking through the climb. We're definitely going to use it next lap for that. So the longer we can spend on it, the better. The problem is I don't have a course where I can just go through the S's over and over and over. Alright, good job, Seth. Way to hold steady and drift. Back and forth. Jonathan, good job. Doug's just riding a steady tempo at the front. Alright, ease it off to a 2.0. And then back to a 1.5. So let's let the group catch back on. We got a few that are a few seconds back. Alright, so for those of you who are listening on Discord, were you guys able to feel that sensation of sliding back in the bunch when you sat up?
Definitely.
Yeah, it happened just as you advertised.
So that's a lot of times what I'll use when I'm up in the A group with the guys like Lyons and Brett Boniface and Wagner. I'll attack into the base of a climb and not really do a big attack, but I will put in enough of an effort that I'm at the front of the group. So as we get up about the third way through the climb, I'm backwards to about the half of the group, and those guys are so strong by the end of it that I'm just hanging on the back. But if I can time it right, that's what it allows me to do. So if you look at a guy like Mark Cavendish, who is a sprinter, he can't climb for crap. Well, he won Milan San Remo by doing that a number of years ago, like 8 years ago, 10 years ago. But what he did was his team brought him to the front before every climb, and he stayed at the very front of the peloton. They basically peeled off to put him first or second wheel. And then as the climb went, he dropped behind a teammate, and they dropped back, and they continued to drop back, all 9 of them, until he was at the very back of the bunch, but he made it over every climb, and he was able to do the sprint for the win. because he was the fastest sprinter left. It doesn't always work. This year, Cavendish did not have that success, nor did any of the true sprinters. But we've seen that happen a number of times. We've also seen it in the big mountain stages with jersey wearers who aren't really the top climbers. Their team will get them to the front, so by the time they're at the end of the climb, they're barely hanging on to the group, but they're hanging on. And that won't be in the high Alp stages or high Pyrenean, but for the foothill stages, the lesser mountains, it allows folks to continue on another stage of their jersey. All right, so now we're going to start talking about attacking through the climb. Attacking through the climb is pretty important. What happens a lot of times is people blow their proverbial load or all their ammo at the base of a climb, right? So then they're tired halfway up, and then they're just gassed 2/3 of the way up. And so all the time they gain on that first 2/3 of the climb is evaporated by the end. And sometimes they're dropped. The problem is when they're dropped, they have no momentum coming back down on the back side of the climb, and then they're gone. Game over. So how do we do that? Well, we have to judge when we want to make our attack. None of our climbs today are so big that we can't attack the whole way, but we're going to simulate that they might be. So you always want to carry that speed in and accelerate into the base of the climb, but that acceleration can never be your max effort. Why? Because somewhere along that climb, depending on what you know about the climb, you're going to want to go to that max effort. And then you have to hold that max effort, not only through the climb, over the top, build all the momentum and speed that you can, so on the downside, you quickly reach that maximum or terminal velocity, so to speak, where you're almost spinning out, or it's a technical course and your speed is limited by the turns. If you don't carry the speed through that first third, you'll have lost some of the momentum and allow other people who may just be a slightly technically better descender or a slightly heavier rider to catch back onto your wheel. And again, you just wasted all that energy for nothing. So let me type some of this out and then we'll get working on that. Okay, so on our next ascent, which is out of the aquarium, we're simply going to ride at a 2.5 into it. Halfway up, we're going to accelerate to a 3.5, and we're going to hold that 3.5 till we're up and past the apex of the climb. All right, so good. We're coming up on our climb, so let's pick the pace up at the front to a 2.5. All right, we're gonna quickly move up to our 3.0 once we hit our base of our climb. And we're coming up on it. So let's go to a 3.0.
We still got one more right turn to go before the climb.
Oh, no, thank you. I'm watching my map. I'm watching the map instead of watching the course. All right, so again, as we go into this, we're gonna accelerate into the base at 3.0. Then we're gonna halfway up, accelerate to a 3.5. Again, these aren't huge jumps. For some people, they're extremely hard. For other people, it's really easy. But we're practicing here. All right, to a 3.0 now. Not yet to a 3.5. Hold your lunge. Hold your lunge still. Okay, now to 3.5. And let's hold that through the apex until we're just out of the incline. Now we're through that first third of a descent. All right, ease off to 1.5. 1.5 now. Good job. That was good, steady work. We'll do the next one at the start-finish line. That's where we'll go back to 2.5, so let's keep it at a 1.5 for now. All right, good job. So while we're here, if you're getting the, if you have the interest to race tomorrow evening, there's the Castelli Thursday night throwdown. If you just want a long ride, there's the Wagner's Wagon Ride tomorrow morning. It goes for about 2.5 hours or so, 3 hours. It is Pacific time, so if you're here with me, you're likely at work at that point. The Thursday night throwdown, I believe, is at 9 p.m. Eastern. It's a little late for me, but some of y'all might be able to do it. It's usually a pretty animated race, run by Mitch Dagerman and William Kwan sometimes. Then Friday is the ebb with the Matt Roth Memorial Kilometer Sprint. I still can't figure out why it's a memorial, but since he has not died that I know of. Still at 1.5, folks, still at 1.5. And then, of course, Saturday we have the Saturday Showdown. And then Sunday is the OD's entry. That's another almost all-day type event. All right, so if you're with me in the back here, we gotta cross that gap. All right, 2.5, 2.5. So we're gonna have to pick it up in the back here, little folks. See, you're with me, Hoffman. Gorski, need you guys to jump on. We don't want to be out the back on the climb yet. All right, lift it to 3.0. We are back on 3.0. Nice move, Hoffman. Jumped right through the group. I like that. That was Sagan-esque.
I was actually in Belgium last week watching your race.
Oh, no way. Pretty jealous.
Yes, sir.
Well, were you cold watching the race though?
Oh no, it's so warm.
In Belgium?
Yeah, it was not very spring-like. When I say warm, I mean relatively warm.
I was gonna say, because I was nice and toasty watching it here.
I bet you were.
All right, good. So everyone was able to hold that really well. We're gonna save our powder for one last hill, and that's gonna be coming out to the Italian village. You're gonna be free to do whatever you want. You can attack from wherever you want once we start the climb. We are gonna roll into it at a 3, but you can, once we hit the base, it's on you. If you go too early and you go off the front and get past, you owe me 15 push-ups if you fall off the back of the group. If you go too late and you're shot off the back of the group and you attack and you're going way harder than everyone but you can't get on, you owe me 15 push-ups. If you don't go early enough but you win at a sufficient time and you don't outright win the climb, that's okay, don't worry about that. A good steady climb is what you want. Alright, so let's try and keep it tight here. Let's slow it down a little bit more. How you doing there, Celia Marie?
Hanging on.
Alright, let's go to 1.2 at the front just so we can try and get some more folks on as best as possible. We have plenty of time, so we're okay. You've already got that split, so if you're in that very front group, we need you to ease off. So if you're in front of Murray and Jonathan, you need to ease off. All right, I'm gonna catch back onto that group with Fox. I want to see us go a little bit nuts here. All right, good. They're slowing down a little bit. Thank you, Jonathan, for controlling that group. All right, we're gonna have us a little fun here. Let's keep it nice and easy still. We're not completely off the descent. Good, 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 good. Seth, tighten that up a little bit with your group, please. You guys have just a small gap. All right, fantastic. We got a lot of people doing a lot of good work right here. Everyone's holding a nice, steady, easy pace. We're about to start hitting what would be almost like a real life lead up to the line. See ya. How far back are you?
I can't see you.
Okay. Alright, well I'm not going to be able to hold them back here for much, so when you hit the climb, go ahead and attack it as best you can. I know your legs are a little bit more tired than others today. It's alright.
Okay, you're 30 seconds in.
Yeah. Alright, so we're going to go to a 2.0 here.
Careful on the wet roads here.
Yeah, I don't want to wipe out here. It's ugly.
I've already ruined one Castelli.
Alright, 2.5 folks, 2.5. So here's where you need to start battling for your position. You don't want to be at the very front right now, but you want to be in striking distance to get to the front. You definitely don't want to be at the back. Alright, let's pick it up now. Pick it up. Alright, got Mr. Hoffman taking it off the front. We got a couple people, a couple people going in orange. I see how it is. Hope you're able to sustain that the whole way. You got about 6 more minutes of it, Hoffman. All right, good job. Good job, ease it off. 1.2 to 1.5, folks. Want to spin those legs out. Great work. Hoffman, great acceleration. Jonathan, great job. So I was a perfect example of being in bad position. I got blinded by the dust. Didn't see him go. Too far back. All the rookie mistakes. Woo-wee. Get my drafting boost going right now. All right, nice and easy. I want you to spin the legs out. Don't worry about how fast or slow you're going. Don't worry about 1.5, 2.5, 7.5, 1.0. I want higher RPMs. That's all I want, higher RPMs. Let's start working on getting the heart rate down. So, I want to recap real quick. Today we covered attacking these punchy climbs. 3 key points that you need to focus on. Anybody got them?
Momentum.
Yeah, that's first.
Back all the way through the hill.
No, positioning is second. And attack through the hills third. Of that, I say positioning is key. Yep, position, great. Thank you. Positioning's key. If you're not in a good position, it doesn't really matter where you attack from or how hard you go. Case in point, what I just did. If you're in a good position, you might be able to get away with lack of momentum or lack of attack all the way through. So, on that, remember, you always want to accelerate into the base of the hill as best as possible for your momentum. You don't want to be full gas going into the hill, but you want to be going pretty steady hard. You're at positioning, you want to be in that front third as you come to the hill, and then at that near the very front as you enter the hill. And as you attack through the hill, maybe you don't want to go with the first move, but you do want to jump on the wheel if possible. And when you actually start your attack, when you start going full gas, that's when you want to be able to hold it all the way through the hill. So if you know the hill, that's better. If you know your competition, that's great. If you know your fitness, that's kind of important. If you can't hold it the whole way through, delay your attack. It does you no good to blow up before you crest the hill. Does anybody have any questions on today's skills and drills before I start typing out some of the recap for folks? Jonathan is not donuts.
No, but I like his thinking.
All right, through the first third. All right, well, as we close up, I just want to thank everyone. Thanks to Castelli for sponsoring the ride. Here, Murray's on top of it. Must be in his last name. That's why he's so smart. You know, there's plenty of events out there if you want to do some racing. If you just want to do social ride, we will be back next week, City Murray. We will be here. So feel free to join in with us. We'll have a new topic that we're covering. Well, it's going to be along the lines of attacking. Still, we're working on our attacks, and we're going to focus on late race attacks. So we've covered this somewhat before. We've covered this somewhat before, but we're going to do it again for those who maybe took some time off or took some time away from the bike, or especially for those who are new. So I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you're getting some water after this if this was hard for you. Again, next week, there'll be hard spots, but the vast majority of it, like today, will be done around that 1.5 to 2. You can hit me up on Facebook if you're looking for anything on skills and drills. To the events, you can definitely PM me or contact me, and I will generally answer within 24 hours. So that is going to be it for me. It is time for me to go ahead and get some dinner in me and finish up some of my day job before I go to bed. Thank you very much for participating, everybody.
Thanks, Cody. Good stuff.
Thank you.
Good job, everybody.